Lofts. We know where the one is.
So, hallo. Ich weiß nicht, funktioniert das Mikro schon? Ja. Sehr schön, dass ihr alle da seid, hier und auch im Stream. Danke fürs Einschalten. Wir freuen uns sehr, dass die Monday Meetings heute in die nächste Runde gehen. Wir, das ist das Kollektiv Jungesloft. Es besteht noch neben mir aus 2 anderen Menschen, die heute leider aber nicht da sein können. Und die Monday Meetings sind eine Reihe, die das Junge Loft schon seit 7 Jahren kuratiert. Und jetzt in diesem Jahr gab es aber einen Wechsel im Kuratorinnen-Team und mit diesem Wechsel haben wir auch ein bisschen ein neues Konzept eingeführt. Und heute ist der erste Abend, an dem ihr das erleben könnt. Und das Konzept ist, dass neben den KünstlerInnen, die wir einladen, dass diese KünstlerInnen sich dann selbst noch Vortragsgäste auswählen dürfen, die dann hier auch auftreten. Und Vortrag, das werdet ihr auch gleich sehen, es kann sehr offen interpretiert werden. Genau, wir freuen uns sehr, dass heute Gorjeoux Moon dafür da ist. Zu ihr sage ich auch gleich noch was. Schon mal vorab, wir wollen, dass das Loft in dieser Reihe, aber natürlich auch darüber hinaus ein Ort ist und wird, an dem sich alle willkommen und wohlfühlen können. Deshalb, wenn irgendwas ist, kommt gerne zu mir. Genau, und zu Friede. Friede finden wir schon sehr lange sehr toll, weil sie eine sehr vielseitige Musikerin ist, die in den verschiedensten Stilistiken mit verschiedenen Projekten unterwegs ist. Und heute ist sie mit ihrem Songprojekt da. Das freut uns sehr. Und dabei begleitet sie heute Bertram Burkert an der Gitarre. Neben Friedes Musik ist sie auch politisch aktiv und hat unter anderem die Initiative Queer Berlin, das ist ein Kollektiv, und die Initiative Music Me Too mitgegründet und befasst sich viel mit den Themen Machtmissbrauch in der Musikszene und hat das auch in einem Statement vor einigen Wochen, hat sie dazu veröffentlicht, was zum Glück viele Wellen geschlagen hat und wofür wir, glaube ich, viele von uns sehr dankbar sind. Genau, und als Vortragsgast hat sich, wie schon eben gesagt, hat sich Friede Gorjeoux Moon mitgebracht. Und Gorjeoux Moon ist eine in Berlin lebende Dichterin und Musikerin, und sie trägt euch heute aus ein paar von ihren Gedichten vor, die sie auch letzte Woche bei einer Ausstellung präsentiert hat. Und genau, zum Schluss, ihr habt ja schon wahrscheinlich gemerkt, der Eintritt ist heute kostenlos. Das haben wir gemacht, um die Reihe eben möglichst zugänglich zu gestalten. Und können das machen dank unseren Förderern, dem Land NRW und der Stadt Köln und auch dem Loft. Also danke schon mal an dieser Stelle. Und wie ihr aber sicherlich euch vorstellen könnt, ist in alles, was ihr heute auf der Bühne seht, viel Zeit und viel Arbeit geflossen. Und deshalb haben wir auch noch Spendentöpfe aufgestellt, in die ihr gerne werfen könnt, was ihr wollt und könnt. Und vielleicht als Richtwert: normal kosten hier Konzerte 7 bis 14 Euro. Und genau, soll aber, genau, wie gesagt, nur rein, was ihr euch leisten könnt und wollt. Genau, ich hoffe, ich habe nichts vergessen. Genau, ich freue mich total, dass ihr heute hier seid, und überlasse die Bühne jetzt Friede, Moon und Bertram. Viel Spaß.
Hi, I'm Moon. I'm going to be speaking to you in English today. Es ist nicht, dass ich kein Deutsch kann, aber Englisch kann ich richtig gut. I can speak English in a way where I can really own the semantics and own the implications. So I write it exclusively in English, even though I've been speaking German and living in German for nearly 20 years. Yeah, content warnings. Probably lots. I tend to talk about abuse, trauma, addiction. I tend to have a lot of humor in what I do as well, and a lot of playfulness. And I tend not to sit in deep, heavy, painful stuff, but just so that you know that there are things that could come up. I'm going to be reading to you in, we're going back and forth between me and Friede. So I'm going to do 3 kind of readings for you from 3 books from a series of books called What the Book. And there's 6 books in the series, and I'm going to start with what's actually the last book, which is the most normal book that I've made. You'll see what that means as I go along. But this is called Imagine Dancing. And all of the books are titled with a line out of one of the poems, and then it's printed the way that it appears in the poem as we reach it. And this book specifically is, it's pretty much all of the haiku that I wrote between end of 2019 and the beginning of this year, 2023. And a haiku is a short form 17-syllable poem in the interpretation that I use of it. And it's basically like 5 syllables, 7 syllables, and then 5 syllables. There's a lot of history behind it that I don't really go into. I basically like it because it helps me keep my thoughts condensed. It helps me just keep into this short form, and I like the mental gymnastics of making ideas and processing my life and my experiences through such a small, condensed space. And I like taking these 5, 7, and 5 syllables, and often I like finding where natural speech just happens to fit into those syllable breaks. But I also like pushing it so that we can see what happens when we apply form in a very brutal way, where it kind of forces things to break even. And I like this tension. All of the poems in this, they're presented in chronological order, and they are in chapters which are titled from the notebooks that I wrote them in with the time frame that I wrote them in. There's no page numbers. This is a metaphor for memory. It's a metaphor for the way my memory works, which is honestly not very well. I don't remember things I can't go back in the filing cabinet of my mind and go, oh yes, that thing happened then. I remember things associatively and I think, yeah, there was that thing. It was around the time that thing happened, I guess. And so I have to rummage through this. And like, believe me, it is frustrating. I've been trying to put a set together and I've been like, where's that poem? And I don't know. So I'm going to read you poems as I go along. They are all haiku. They are all 17 syllables. And I'm just going to read them to you and we'll see how far we get in my 10 minutes, basically. So I'm just going to start because I don't know how else to do this. So, should I trust my gut, I would run from everything. Ableist bullshit. Fear is fight or flight, freeze or fawn, forever in amygdalic time. And what I mean with amygdalic time there in this meditation on fear is that when we are in fear, when we're triggered, as somebody with PTSD, I get triggered. Our amygdala takes over, and our amygdala, this part of our brain, it doesn't understand things like time. It understands now and forever or never. It's why when you're in the depths of despair, you feel like you're never coming out again. It's because the part of your brain that is controlling your experience can't understand anything that's not happening right now. So yeah, like one of the things I like about having very short poems is I try and fit as much into as very small a space as possible that often requires a much longer explanation than the poem itself, as you are surely noticing and will continue to notice. Here we go. Good consent practice. If you can't accept a no, don't ask for a yes. That's pretty solid advice, right? Are kinks the indignities I must suffer to allow for pleasure? Hashtag asking for a friend. So here, like, obviously, it's the indignity of breaking indignity over the line break that is questioning the indignity. Here we have, imagine dancing through Plato's cave, 17 syllables per thought. So this is the title of the book, Imagine Dancing. And the original version of this actually lights up. Like you pull a tab and the words flicker on the page, and so it's like you find yourself in Plato's cave meditating on the absurdity of trying to encapsulate big philosophical thoughts in 17 syllable poems. So this is what I kind of consider to be a meta haiku, which is something that I started making in lockdown, where there really is something about the form itself, the use of the form, the materiality of the piece that has like an extra level of meaning. But yeah, let's crack on. Why will you tell me? You told me you love me, but not tell me again. Let us speak our truth. Let our voices protect us where our silence failed. I wrote that on International Women's Day 2021. It's a homage to Audre Lorde. She has a fantastic, I mean, was a fantastic human being that the world is better off for having had in it. And she has a fantastic essay, which is about the fact that your silence will not protect you. So here we say, should someone first say, I love you to win a fight, run the fuck away. Which is hard-earned, very good advice. Like, but with this poem, if you rotate it 90 degrees counterclockwise, you'll see that the poem itself is actually flipping you the bird. Yeah. Also, content warning, bad language. when I say that I know how to speak English, it means I know how to speak English, and that includes using all of English. So I'm a very eloquent, foul-mouthed bitch sometimes. So if there is a God, he is just another cruel, narcissistic cunt. Yeah, I wrote that because a series of events that taught me some very valuable lessons. They just made me think, like, if somebody was trying to teach me this and took the decision to put me through this, then I don't need to believe in somebody who has the power to put me through this. Yeah. Here we go. Romanticism loves, validates, excuses pain and violence. Patriarchy needs romantics to justify its barbarity. Saying you meant me no harm does not excuse your deafness to my cries. It is not your fault you were loved, taught love by narcissists. It's not mine either. Couldn't believe you meant to hurt me, that's why I let you, yet you did. We were beautiful by gaslight. How blessed is the cold light of day. Roller coasters are fun until you puke. Know when the ride is over. Car crashed over cliff. Into water I escaped. My last breath of you. I went through a really bad breakup. I mean, it's probably obvious, but just for context, like, just for clarification. And also, I'm a raging addict. I'm in recovery. I've been in recovery for like 2 years and 4 or 5 months now. Like, I'm in that lovely place of not really knowing exactly. But that's why like addiction stuff tends to crop up. So here, like, father avoidant, mother distractant, addict child between two chairs. Okay. I'm going to hurry up through this a bit because I'm already at 10 minutes, so I'm going to skip to the end because we have plenty more to enjoy for this evening. But I'm going to kind of wrap up with that one. Yes, on cisness. For those of you who don't know what cisness is, it's because you're probably cis. A natural state does not require such fervent policing. Every rom-com is a tragedy when viewed through a queer lens. The use of violence to teach is the definition of abuse. I do not believe in good or bad people. There are, however, cunts. I do not believe history repeats itself. The fucking rhymes, though. I'm easy like a Sunday morning, straight after the clocks spring forwards. Saying stupid when you mean uneducated is class violence. And then the last 4. Tell me I am broken, nor that I am too damn itched to be loved. Don't. So in this poem, the syllable place in this broken poem has been shifted back. So it should read, don't tell me I am broken, nor that I am too damaged to be loved. But now it's broken. Or is it? Fearing nothing but fear itself is a fucking privilege. Forgetting hand cream but packing pepper spray is a complete sentence. And I'm going to leave it there for now. So I'm going to get Friede and Bertram to come up on stage and give some music.
geht's nicht. Recht.
What did I think? What did I say? What did I say? What did you hear? What did you hear? What did your mind make out of it? What did you get? Do you agree? Did I push a button and not realize I crossed a line that's yet to be defined? Can you still hear me, or are you already tangled up? Are you about to settle up, or will you let me see it all? 'Cause I'm here because I want to with you, because I want you with all the hailstones coming to rain down on us from lovers past. We are in this together, navigating any kind of weather. Two captains on one ship, share the wheel and have to find a way through the haze. We are content now, let us do whatever needs to be done to apply a compromise and maintain the outcome and stay in contact as we do. Do you still feel like letting me know how you feel? What you thinking? What's the deal? Or are we already back in our hamster wheel, the routine? We're trying to set ourselves free from. Guess we're right back where we began. But I'm here because I want to with you, because I want you with all the hailstones coming to rain down on us from lovers past. We are in this together, navigating any kind of weather. Two captains on one ship, share the wheel and turn the ship around. Past. We are in this together, navigating any kind of weather. Two captains on one ship, share the wheel and have to find a way through the haze. You made me wanna cop the fuck out of this deal. The borough folks, monarchs, the oldest is my family, Lee McQueen and Elvis D. Sweet cocaine and LSD in the heart of this country. I say to be a refugee of my country's obstinacy and arch enemy to you. No need for apologies, whatever you do feels good to me. I'm sucked and drawn into your open arms. Many roads, many times, many years and many burns from Teutonia to Albion, the sweeter part of whatever is left of Saxony. Thank you. I'm going to continue in English if that's okay. I guess the song that we just played, Albion, you might have known if you watch Instagram stories. I think it was on there somewhere. And the first one we played is not recorded yet, or not released yet. And it's about this phenomenon of, like, you can be in a relationship and think that your communication is so well because you're like so much like tell me what it is that you need, and like, yeah, I'm really trying to make myself understood, and I want you to I want us to be in connection. And somewhere down the line you might realize that this is a very one-sided effort. Yes. And the next one is one that actually quite a few people have asked me about in the past few weeks, and it's a good example for this magic that music and songwriting and I guess art in general does, that you can express things before you understand them, which is pretty cool. In my purse I keep a picture of a little that little girl is me, and I try to hold on to her as I grow. No praise, no sign I leave behind in this house of yours. At your table in my old room in this town, I'm only a visitor. On my mind I keep a memory of how I feel when I love what I do. What a feeling to be in the right place with the right people to share it with you. No trace, no sign I leave behind in this heart of yours. My feelings, my words, my story, my song. To you I'm invisible. Hey, hey, to the linesman, tell him to draw me a spine. Tell him to simply get out of my way and catch up with me in time. In my heart I keep a story of silence and peace shared between two. A story of love I once had in mind for me and you. No trace, no sign I leave behind on your skin. In your house, in your bed, in your arms, in your life, I'm only a visitor.
Jetzt brauche ich eine Weile. frage mich den ganzen Tag schon. I'm wondering, like, who's suffering more in this heat, me or my guitar? The sweat on my fingers certainly doesn't help. But I'm lucky. I know somebody who is also a guitarist and drummer and vocalist, but she now mainly plays guitar, and her sweat is so aggressive that it destroys the strings. She has to put on new strings for every gig. Okay. This is not a song by me, but by Adrian Lenker. I was lucky enough to be in a residency in the beginning of this year at Starnberger See, and I had a really mean cold, so I couldn't sing. So I just played more guitar instead, and this is one of the songs I learned loving. It's called Gitarre. Gradually and surrounding, the horse lies naked in the shed. Evergreen and a D&D compounding, flies draw sugar from his head. His eyes are blueberries, video screens, Minneapolis schemes, and the dried flowers from books half read. The juice of dark cherries cover his chin, the dog walks in, and the crow lies in his jaw. Everything eaten is eaten, time is fed. Early evening, the pink ring swallows the spherical marigold terrain. Sleep believing a sinks and hollows the stationed headlight of a plane. You are as far from me as memory, which fixtures fracture varyingly. The juice of dark cherries cover my skin, 6 years in, no baby. Everything eaten is eaten. Crystalline amber gilds a cheek. Tambourine of the beach leaves leader to the raven playing hide and seek. Drying blueberries, figurines, and the angelines at the head of the bed. The juice of dark cherries cover her chin. The dog walks in and the crow lies in his smile like lead. Everything eaten is eaten, time is fed. Everything eaten is eaten. Everything eaten is eaten. Everything eaten is eaten. jetzt gibt es noch ein Set. Now we have one more set by Moon, and then we have a little break. And then we'll be back.
Hi again. Such a pleasure to be here. Okay, the next book I'm going to read to you from is called I Am From Myself. And this is a book of what I call book-shaped kinetic poetry sculptures. If you don't know what that is, that's okay. I invented them. And instead of explaining to you what they are, I'm just going to show you. So I was going to crack on. This is a book that also, like, it processes, you know, like a breakup, going from being in love to disillusionment to finding strength to carry on and into healing. So that's the arc that we're going through. I'm not reading all of the poems, but I'm going to just kind of move through a selection of them. So here, I love who you are, how you are, when you are, where you are, why you are you. When I need to be close to you, I ask how far I am from myself. And the I keeps moving further and further away from myself. You take my breath away, but so do my cigarettes. If narcissist is as narcissist does, who holds who accountable? And this one, the narcissist that is the same narcissist that does. Because from the point of view of somebody experiencing narcissistic abuse, a diagnosis doesn't make any difference. It's not about pathologization, it's about the language of understanding so that you can relativize and process and have the language to express what it is that one is going through. Here, this is like, if you love like you've never been hurt, you'll hurt like you've never been loved. Being abused is being used abhorrently till you're all used up. That's kind of a play with German a little bit, but also just this meditation on the fact that, like, ab as a prefix tends to imply something wrong. You know, you can misuse something, which means to use incorrectly, but to abuse something is to invoke a wrongness in the way that you use it. And I find we have that, it's kind of a bit clearer in German often. You know, artig and abartig, you know, it's kind of clear. Okay, so I have a triptychon of poems in this book, which are all, they're poems based on 90s club lyrics. It's just, so, no, 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 there's a limit. It was the first fucking no. Hashtag no means no. Invalidating myself for validation is contradiction. That's contradiction spelt with two Ds because that contradiction is the core of my addiction. I believe it's the core of a lot of addiction. It's also by adding this extra D, you read contradiction and then you read addiction, which means it's a 17-syllable poem in which you've just read an extra 3 syllables. So what you actually read is a 20-syllable poem, which also invalidates the form of being a haiku. So it kind of, yeah. But then the problem is that when you do receive validation for invalidating yourself, you are validated in invalidating yourself. The validation doesn't go to you; it goes to the invalidation. So it goes to the negation of self. Here you go. While my high self craves more substances, my higher self craves more substance. It's a long way down, but at least rock bottom is a firm foundation. Hurt. I have hurt people. People have hurt me. Hurt people hurt people. Hurt people hurt. What is love? Baby, don't hurt me. Don't hurt me. No, just respect my boundaries. And what is love? It's boundaries. I do not need you to understand me. I need you to believe me. Then the last poem I'm going to leave you on before we go into the break is to say that healing is healthy grieving. There we go. So yeah, these books are around. Like, you can come and talk to me and like have a little play with them as well. Like they're made to be engaged with. You know, it's great to show them to you like this, but they're made to be touched. So during the break, if you want to come up and have a look at these, please come and speak to me. And now we're going to take a short break, and then we're going to come back with some more music from Friede and Bertram.
said and shown. Signal rockets I have thrown. They're lying right in front of you, but all you do is ridicule me, my love. Everyone you almost broke in the battles that you lost. Choose to rather be alone than here with you and with the hate that you project and recreate. Time and time again I've been craving a revolution inside of you, trying to spark a revolution inside of you, but all I got was prosecution. They say it's a useless effort to love someone who'll only hate you back. All of us for some time gave in, but then eventually gave up and ran to save themselves from you. Weapons in disguise you brought to the battles that we fought. Stone walls are a dull-edged sword. I will no more participate. I'm stepping out of this fate, out of your game. I've been craving a revolution inside of me, so I started a revolution inside of me. Didn't quit all substitutions and made the space to make and take everything I need. Everything I need to know. In my heart I've always known I freed myself enough to go. There's nothing you can do or say to force or guilt trip me to stay, my love. Thank you. Was that in my brain, or did I hear a snare rattling? Oh, you had that too. Good. I'm relieved. Does anybody know? Is anybody here who knows where exactly the snare drum is located? It's you. That's coming from. It's like it's not. It's you, but it's you.
It's not me, it's you.
Danke. Okay. is a place that I hide. The thought alone of opening that door and I lose touch, I feel I'm losing control of a story so old, so many times told. It doesn't have to unfold to be you, to be me, to be true, to be home. And the mold inside my lungs starts to spread as another Berlin winter lies ahead of me. I try to figure it all out alone again instead of reaching out to you. Most of the time I emulate, I compensate for every time I disallow to shimmer through, to crumble down, to stand bare naked, weak and proud. But every time I elevate, I evaporate. Goddamn, it's hard to rise above, to shed my skin and still be someone I could love, someone you could love. Now the mold inside my lungs starts to spread, and another Berlin winter lies ahead of me. I try to figure it all out alone again instead of reaching out. Please take me back to when my foot cracked from trying to catch up with my mind, protecting me for all this time, pretending I could leave behind my biggest fear and see it clear. The war was true then, is still true today. I cannot run from thoughts so bad, from thoughts that have to do with dad and mom and sis and that old scum. And I was innocent and young until a man did wrong on me, and you failed Call me out of this loop, out of this amygdala coop. All I want is to say yes, and to air my brain's foggy guess of why, what is you, where there, where I lost me, right next to the apple tree. Was it me or the fruit that fell? Was it into or out of the well? A wormhole into my inky shell, like watercolors into every cell. Bleed here, there, and everywhere. I've been before, always turning towards each open door, looking into the light. I lose my sight, mix up left and right, and tumble to the other side until I return blinded into the night. On the outside, everything's fine. To confess I'm a mess at this point is my second best guess. 'Cause I have a feeling returning. With you I'm safe. Lover, your chest is the place I rest, is the place I get sucked in from best. And when I cry, I may cry into your eye, into your arms. I wave my goodbyes. Bye-bye silence. Bye-bye loneliness.
Hi. Well, I mean, I say I could listen to you all night. I'm listening to you all night. It's fantastic. It's like desire, fulfillment. What? Yeah. So the last book I'm going to share with you is a book called Palimpsest. And if you don't know what that means, it's okay. It comes with a definition. And here it says that a palimpsest is a document in which previously erased writing is still visible through layers of new. A something having diverse layers or aspects apparent beneath the surface. An object made or worked upon for one purpose and later reused for another. A geographical feature composed of superimposed structures created at different times. A metaphor for the human experience, mind, body, and soul. And I think for me, what palimpsest means in the context of the human mind, body, and soul is the fact that life goes on. And we can't unexperience things. Once something has happened to us, with us, for us, it has happened. And therefore, everything that we experience on top of that, and we experience through that, and we experience that through. And that's not only us as individuals, we are part of a society that is a palimpsest of sequential ideals. You know, like one society didn't, you know, the Romans didn't just stop and then the next part started. You know, there's these like fließende Übergänge, you know. And so I have this poem palimpsest that says, "We are all impressed upon as we impress our impressed impressions." This for me is a meditation on the fact that we act from a place of what has been impressed upon us, but we impress upon other people. And there's a cycle, whether it's a cycle of violence or a cycle of healing. We cannot exist outside of community. Like, I think, therefore I am, only a straight white man could have centered his philosophy around that. You know, believe it was Audre Lorde who says, we feel, therefore we are. So, speaking of healing, the title of this piece is called Healing Is, because healing is turning PTSD into post-traumatic wisdom. And okay, this one might be tricky for you to read. I've not performed this book actually before. I mean, I only finished making it 2.5 weeks ago, and then I exhibited it in the same week. But this poem is titled, you can read here where it lines up there. It's titled On Dissociation. And basically, as I pull this down, the words start to line up, and they line up here. So you can see it says for, right? And it says for, and then as you move it down, each line slowly lines up. So it says, 4 weeks now, I have been phasing in and out of dissociation. And what's happening in this poem is the 2 layers of text have a different line spacing. And if you take the line of where the text is and the line of where the text isn't as kind of a metaphor or an analogy for a sound wave, or you have the peak and you have the trough. And what we have is 2 waves of slightly different lengths. And when waves move through each other, that is called phase. This is just meditating on the fact that dissociation feels like when I'm dissociated, I'm only present through one very specific part of my bandwidth at any one time. I'm not fully present. And we have a poem, Where Does My Trauma Stop? Where does my addiction start? At the same place. And what you have underneath is the word trauma addiction. So literally the word trauma, the A where it stops, is the A where addiction starts. This one we'll come back to if I remember. So, there is a reason community shares roots with communication. I believe that healing is communication and healing is community. And without community, you can't have communication because you're just talking to yourself. And without communication, you can't have community because you're just not talking to each other. And the better you get at community, the better you get at communication. And the better you get at communication, the better you get at community. And the better you get at language, the better you get at community. So like, learning language and having the language to express ourselves and have things expressed to us is an essential part of our individual, personal, interpersonal and societal healing. I'm going to skip that one. Okay, so I'm going to see if you can read that. Anybody out there, can you read phonetic script? Anyone? Most people can't. It's really okay. Like I have to admit, I only learnt this bit to be able to write this poem. What it says is you can take the girl out of the north, but you can't take north out at girl. It's a haiku that only works as a haiku when I say it in a northern English accent. Here, I refuse to capitalize myself. I very rarely capitalize the I in I statements. It hasn't felt right since 2020. I don't know how to express it any differently. But yeah, party hard, create harder, heal hardest. Because healing is hardest. It's better to make an imperfect something than a perfect. Mostly. Where are we? Here we go. Okay, so yeah, this one. I bought my camera, my phone on stage with me for a reason. It's because I need a flashlight. So I'm going to turn the flashlight on. And I'm going to turn this light off because I often make poems and books, etc., that need very specific lighting conditions to be appreciated. And I'm saying this in a funny way. The poem I'm going to read to you, it is quite a heavy and impactful poem. I'm just going to be very. This should work. I did test it. Basically, there we go. You can just see it. It's difficult to read in this light. It has worked. There are people in the audience who experienced this outside. And what it says is, the violences that broke me most were the ones most softly spoken. And I don't know how to speak softer in the printed word than colourless paper, colourless ink that is only visible when shone through a specific angle. So we can also come back to this poem that says you need a change of perspective. If you're paying attention, then you'll take a change in perspective and you kind of realize that what the poem says. There it is. There. Sometimes all you need is a change of perspective to make it make sense. And then there's also a poem that comes after this, where there's like this random blank page, and on the back it says silhouette, and it says silhouette backwards. And like, what would be the way to make a silhouette backwards become a silhouette forwards? Well, you'd make it into a silhouette, so you put a light through it, and what you end up with is embedded in here. We end up with a little heart cave. And we have a poem that says, what is silhouette if not a celebration of negative space? So, turn the light back on. I'm going to read a couple more to you now, and then we're going to finish the night off with Friede and Bertram again. So, here we have a poem that says, love actions, not promises. And when you pull tab number 2, nothing happens. Because you should love the action and not the promise. And now, all of these kinetic poems, like you pull them down and they come to a natural rest. And so I put this in an exhibition last year, and I took a lot of joy from this poem because people went up to it and it says, "No one is perfect. We are all walking wounded. We all make mistakes." And everyone immediately goes, "Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, put it away, put it away." And what they miss is that on the back, it says, "Is it a mistake when someone changes the rules without telling you?" Because it's not actually a mistake. I just decided I wanted to make people have the experience of feeling like they were making a mistake. And then I was like, oh my God, that's hilarious. It's also really manipulative. And I need to make good on that and acknowledge the fact that I've manipulated you into feeling like you've made a mistake. When it comes to making mistakes, we all make mistakes. And that's okay. And we can learn from them. And we learn from them by you do the best you can until you know better. Then, when you know better, do the best you can until you know better. Then, when you know better, do the best you can. This is actually a quote from Maya Angelou that I snipped off after 17 syllables and turned it into this this endless infinity loop because self-improvement, healing, there's no end point. There's no end point where it's just like, I am now perfect. Cool. What's up, mere mortals? You know, like, that doesn't happen. You know, we live, we learn, we apply what we learn, and then we make more mistakes, and we make different mistakes, and that's okay. It's just how we approach that that's really important. And the last poem I'm going to show you kind of meditates on that, I guess. It's this idea, like in consent, we have to be in communication. It's okay to kind of make mistakes. It's okay to say no. It's okay to have someone say no. It's not just okay to say no and have someone say no. It's essential because your no lets me know how I may love you. And then on the other side of this poem, we flip over and we have the same poem again, but it says, my no lets you know how you may love me. And what's printed underneath here is it says, I love you, and here it says, you love me. But both of these statements of love, you can only experience them when filtered through this kind of dedication to consent, to understanding, to accepting of boundaries. And one of the really important things for me in my healing process was writing the second part and understanding that this declaration, your love, or your no lets me know how I may love you, that's not enough on its own. This is not a one-way street. So I needed to acknowledge that I need my no to be acknowledged as well, and that these two things are now inextricably linked. And they may feel like different manifestations, but they are different manifestations and viewpoints of the same declaration of love. Because what is love? Boundaries. Thank you.
Thank you. That was another song that I didn't write. That was Terminal Paradise from Adrian Lenker again. I'm digging us out of the hole again here. Going up, up, up. All right. Come clean. Release. I'll be right here. Your thoughts are driving you mad. You think you're undeserving and bad. You think you're stuck in the mud, but I believe in you. Come round, sit down, let's drown in this sound, in this sound, in this sound. You're scared of what might unveil, but it's all part of your tale. You're damn afraid you might fail, but I believe in you. Unleash, drop free, fall deep, let be. I think you know what I mean. Might have to change your routine. I think you've got to come clean, but I believe in you. you very much. Holy moly. Oh. This is so hilarious. Ah. Oh, I imagine it's hilarious to watch me working on this knob with my right hand, because the left one doesn't have the power. So, we've come to the last song. Doesn't sound right yet. Well, but I think I can do the rest while talking. Thank you so much for being here. This is actually, I play music for a long time, but for some reason this is the first time I play at Loft. I don't know how that happened. But you have a really, really beautiful space here. Beautiful people. Beautiful people! Thank you. And thanks to Monday Meetings for inviting us and for starting this series. It's really fun to bring these two worlds together, and I've been dreaming forever to do something. I know Moon for a really long time, and I've always, like, whenever she showed me one of her new bigs, I was like, oh my god! So I'm really proud. Is that the right word? I don't know. That's how I feel. Thank you so much for coming here with us today. Give it up for gorgeous Moon. Thank you very much for Bertram, to Bertram for coming, playing this music with me. Bertram Burkert. And thanks to Stefan for being such a joy to work with. He's doing the sound and also like the streaming thingy. He's there in the back in the office watching us all. I guess you see me somehow. Thank you, Stefan. That was that. We brought merch. If you want to buy some, come. If you don't want to buy some and just want to talk to us, also come. It's outside on the table. We'd love to talk to you and hang out and be together. So this last song is called... yes. I just said like jungesloft, but particularly I've been... You saw Lucy earlier announcing this. Yeah, we were so well taken care of. That's always makes everything so much easier. Okay, last song. Yeah.
Wouldn't it be sweet, you're asking, just as you're about to leave, if in many years we'd still know each other? I crumble inside, all I hear is goodbye, as the yes of my baby lately turned into maybe. Oh, I vowed next time around I wouldn't hide behind the cloud that forms from voices speaking of impossibilities, but risk connection. Oh, how did you mean that? I ask you later that day. You say you don't remember, but believe me that you intend to stay. I'm drowning in shame for hearing it the other way. Then you tell me whatever I feel is okay, okay, okay. hold me the way. And then you're here with all of me the way I am. We share this dance. Man, I wish I had your ears, but my waters run so deep and so high at the same time. Times of loss and lack of grief have left a place inside of me where things keep ending endlessly. And it's easy to fall back home. It's the only days I've ever known. Until I met you, most anything's easy for you, it seems. It's hard to watch sometimes. Cry, laugh, rest, cry. Rivers fill up, rivers run dry. Vanished buildings reappear out of the blue into the blue air. Man, I wish I had your ears, but my waters run so deep and so high at the same time. Times without community have left a place inside of me where things keep ending endlessly. And it's easy to fall back home. It's the only home I've ever known until I met you. Any place is home with you. Any place I can be, any way I am.
Loft. La vie est belle.